Hello there, and welcome back to Skyrim. As soon as my controller decides it wants to work. There we go. Welcome back to Skyrim. It's been a couple weeks. Last week we took off so that I could finish up the last episodes of the watch party. Where the fuck am I? Oh, the Lordstone, right, I completely forgot. No, I'm fine on carry weight. Yeah, so where we left off, I had just completed the Dawnstar quest for that guy with the Mythic Dawn, which got us Manrune's Razor, as well as a great location for farming Daedra Hearts, because those are important. But we also crafted the best possible equipment that I can get for myself right now. I don't think I can ever craft anything better than this. This was with the use of Enchanter's Elixir. 2 Enchanter's Elixirs, one so that I could enchant my smithing gear, and one so that I could enchant all of these. But yeah, no, my stats are looking very, very good right now. Armor rating of 1,865. Now, I have not the slightest fucking clue what exactly armor rating means in this game. Like, I can Google the question, but all I ever find are vague answers. I never get anything very, like, straightforward, like, oh, well, armor rating is like a percent, it negates a certain percent of incoming damage, and yeah, no, I've never found anything like that. As far as I know, you can't just use armor to become just like immune to all physical damage. So yeah, I have no fucking clue what armor rating actually means, other than you want the number to be bigger. But so for today, I think there's a few things that we can do. So I do know, before we finish everything else, I would like to go to Markarth and Windhelm. Those are the 2 holds that I still haven't visited, and there's a lot of stuff to do in both those places. Part of the reason why I'm holding off visiting them is because as soon as I enter them, they're going to throw a lot more quests my way, and I still have a bunch of quests that I have yet to complete. So we will be visiting both those holds, or both those hold capitals, I should say, at some point, but not anytime soon. We're actually kind of close to wrapping up the College of Winterhold quest line. Currently what I have to do is go into the ruins of Mizulf, and I think that's what we're going to be doing today. But at the same time, I can't help but notice that just down the road here is a quest. I have a quest marker telling me to go to Highgate Ruins on the northern coast near Solitude. I don't think I have any quests related to Mirror Watch. I think someone just might have put that on my map, and that's it. But yeah, so yeah, well, I think the plan for today is I'm going to head this direction. By the way, just okay, good. I had to make sure that there was actually audio because I think I forgot to check that before the stream. But yeah, so we're just gonna go over here, collect this Word of Power. It shouldn't take too long, you know, it's probably just a pretty standard, typical dungeon, nothing much to worry about. The one that I'm more interested in is, yeah, Mizulft. That one is going to take quite a bit longer because just as a general rule of thumb, if a quest is telling you to go into a dwarven ruin, you'd better have plenty of time on your hands to enter that dwarven ruin because it's probably going to take a while. So here we are on the main road. We could go back and check out Mirror Watch, but I don't think we need to. And yeah, it looks like the main road's not going to lead me to Highgate Ruins, so might as well just head straight in this direction. And I see no reason why we wouldn't check out that Hill March camp. So yeah. So how is everyone doing? I have been doing some things. Again, sorry, I'm being really bad about getting back into Fire Emblem Engage. It's gonna happen at some point, I promise. Because I really do want to finish that game. Like, I was really into the story and everything. There we go, we've discovered the camp. Yeah, I was really into it. I just fell out of it. I don't know. Oh yeah, one other thing I did want to mention. Ooh, hello. I don't think I've ever seen this place, or if I have, I might be mistaken. I don't know, it's very rare to find just like an entire burned out house in the middle of nowhere. But I guess we have one right here. I don't know if that was added with the anniversary edition or if that's just an unmarked location. My assumption is the latter. I know people give Bethesda a lot of shit, and a lot of it is deserved. But there's one thing that I can't deny, and everyone loves to overlook or otherwise have some sort of argument that's not very solid. It's the fact that Bethesda is really good at making, like, worlds. They may not be the best at writing stories. That's kind of like the main consensus I hear about Bethesda. But they are very well-refined experts at creating landscapes and places for you to explore. Which is one of the reasons why I'm very interested in Starfield. But yeah, here we are, coming up on Highgate Ruins. But yeah, no, it's just a bit of a thing. Anyway, so yeah, stuff I am doing in my free time, however, is, so I'm sure I've mentioned this before, I've been playing Arena at work, and here's my take on Arena. It is very intimidating, especially for players who are used to like Skyrim or even Oblivion. Like, it's intimidating, it's a very different system. All of that is true. However, it's not as bad as your brain is telling you that it's gonna be. Once you kind of just wrap around the general mechanics of, ooh, this is actually a quest location. Hello. I'll be with you in just a second. Alright, you know what? Sure, let's talk to you. Hello.
Yes?
Who are you?
I'm Anska. Are you here to help?
You sound very familiar. I can't remember where I heard something about Anska, but yeah, help with what?
I've finally located Vulcan's crypt. The scroll I'm looking for just has to be here. Maybe you could help find it. I just know it's in here.
Vulcan?
Some old priest buried here long ago. I've been searching for his tomb for a few years now.
What scroll?
It's probably meaningless to you, but according to family legend, it links our bloodline back to Iskramor himself.
Ooh, that's kind of neat. And what kind of help do you need?
If Vokun is as powerful as I think, I may need a little help dealing with him.
What's in it for me?
You can have anything, except the scroll, of course.
I'll help.
Great. With the two of us, this should be easy.
Three of us, don't forget Janessa. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I remember I read something mentioning Anska at some point on the wiki. I just cannot remember what it said about her or why it mentioned her. But anyway, yeah, so as I was saying though, yeah, I just as a general rule, like, I'm pretty sure that you're probably familiar with, like, you know, modern day Elder Scrolls games like Oblivion and Skyrim and all that. And you've probably and looking at a game like like Arena is probably rather intimidating because the system looks very different from what you're used to, and dungeon layouts, I will say, when I, like, my first few levels of Oblivion, I was most intimidated by the prospect of ever having to enter a dungeon, which is not a good sign in a dungeon crawling game. However, I did eventually overcome my fear. I had a very similar fear of entering dungeons with this game itself, Skyrim. When I first started playing Skyrim, I once had like a general fear of any quest that would send me into a dungeon for a period of time. And so I was just like, you know what, if any quest ever sends me into a dungeon, I'm just going to put that quest off and stay in the overworld. Part of it was because I just enjoy the overworld so much. Yeah, let's take the soul gem. Yeah, so it's something like, you just kind of have to get used to it. You know, in any Elder Scrolls game, you are going to need to go dungeon diving at some point. I think the one that requires it the least might be Morrowind. I think I remember maybe reading or seeing somewhere that Morrowind like has the fewest dungeons of any Elder Scrolls game. I could be wrong about that. But yeah, Skyrim is rather dungeon heavy, as is Oblivion, and especially the last two games in the series, or the first two games in this series, I mean. Daggerfall and Morrowind, Daggerfall and Arena. Those are the more dungeon crawly games in the franchise because it's literally what they were designed around. Like, that's the central thing. In Arena, there's like no side quests whatsoever. That involve not going into a dungeon. Well, no, that's not true. There are side quests, but those are just random jobs that people will be like, hey, could you go to this location in this city and I will give you money and a tiny, and I really do mean tiny, amount of XP for it. And it's like, you could, or you could just not. So yeah, I don't know, it's just, yeah, the vast majority of any arena playthrough is going to be you dungeon diving, because that's where you're gonna get the most XP. Like, you get more XP.
Some sort of lever puzzle. We'll have to figure out the correct order
Okay. Yeah, there's like XP, because yeah, if you're not familiar, so Skyrim and Arena, I don't know about Morrowind, but definitely Skyrim and Arena. Not Arena, Oblivion. I'm gonna keep getting Arena and Oblivion mixed up because their names both start with a vowel. Yeah, Skyrim and Oblivion both have a level by doing system, which is a very interesting system, and it is, you know, kinda unique. It makes sense lore-wise why that would be, like, because if you think about it, like in Fallout, you get just generic XP and you can use whatever skill points you get to put into whatever skill. But when you think about it, it's like you could spend your entire first level not doing any lockpicking whatsoever, or you could heck spend like the first however many levels you want, like 5-10 levels, not doing any lockpicking in the game, and put all of your skill points into lockpicking, and all of a sudden you're a master of lockpicking. Like, when did your character learn that skill? So that's kind of why it really makes a lot of sense that Oblivion and Skyrim both have the level by doing system. It's just a little bit unfortunate that it is a level by doing system, because it kind of means that certain skills are going to be a lot harder to level up than other ones. Combat skills, they're going to level up super fast. Crafting skills are only going to level up as much as you use them. And yeah, like passive magic skills are only gonna level up the more you use those types of spells. And yeah, like the thief skills, you're only gonna gain sneak the more you sneak, you're only gonna gain lockpick the more you lockpick, and you're only going to gain speech the more you pass speech checks or do buying and selling. So all of that tied together is like, it's the problems with the level by doing system. Arena was a very flat, straightforward XP system. You gain a certain amount of XP, and then once you reach a certain threshold, that's when you level up. So like the first 10 levels are fairly easy to get to. Heck, you could pretty easily gain your first level or so just by doing odd jobs for people around town. The problem is,
What do you want, cat?
oh, this is interesting.
To take treasures from this place. I will not risk the anger of the dead.
Okay, those don't match. Wait, hang on. Bird whale. Bird what? Okay, they do match. Never mind. I'm being dumb. Yeah, so don't worry, I'll get to finishing this puzzle in a second. I just want to finish my little chat about how Arena gives you XP. So yeah, like you get a modest amount of XP for doing just odd jobs for people. Frankly, the money is more important than the XP is. And I've kind of reached that point in the game. My character is currently like level 16, I think. And I have reached that point in the game where I've done like just a little bit of mental math. And it would take me doing 1,000 of those little side jobs before I got enough XP to level up. So there is a point where it's kind of like no reason for you to keep doing them and for you to just kind of switch and do something else. And just go dungeon diving and doing stuff like that, because you get a lot more XP just for killing random enemies in a dungeon than you do for doing those side jobs. Anyway, let's do this puzzle. So, here we have a very sad attempt at a puzzle. The puzzles in Arena are a lot better because, like, they ask actual riddles and you have to, like, find the answer to the riddle. Heck, in one of the main quest dungeons, the halls of the Colossus, you have to. So, like, one of the riddles is you have to find the name of the person who crafted built the halls of Colossus. And if you don't know the answer to that and you're not willing to look at a guide, or you don't have a guide on hand, the way you're supposed to find the answer is go back through the dungeon and try to find the location where there's like a little epitaph dedicated to the person who built the place. So, yeah. Those puzzles are a lot more in-depth and require a lot more thought than these ones. So, here we've got 1, 2, blank 4. I wonder what number 3 is. And then we just turn around and it's like, oh, well, here's those. Wait, but we got 2 sets of the same thing? Oh, wait a minute, let me just match them up. Yep. Okay, so that means this one is the missing one. Yeah. Not that hard of a puzzle, Bethesda. So we've got Snake down here, Fox over here, and then here's Whale, and here's Eagle. Okay, so let's start with, it's Eagle, Whale, Eagle, Whale, and then Fox and Snake. So Fox and Snake. There we go. Very easy, straightforward puzzle. It's not even a puzzle. It's literally just a break in fighting. That's all it really is. By the way, I realize I am playing a Khajiit, so I don't need to cast Candlelight. I could just use, like, my night vision skill. A lot of racial abilities in this game are on a timer. Like, you're only allowed to use each of them once a day and stuff. The exception being Cat Eye or Night Eye or whatever it's called, the Khajiit night vision. Because, yeah, that's just, you can just turn it off and on at will. Don't have to wait 24 hours for you to get it back once you've used it once. And, you know, I guess it makes sense, like, there's not really any reason why it wouldn't work that way. But yeah, so let's just clear out some more Draugr. Yeah, no. Arena is a pretty cool game, and I'm looking forward to the time when I do eventually stream it. It's just gonna be a big question of working at the logistics of how best to stream it, because the game is probably best used in full screen. I vastly prefer to stream in windowed mode because otherwise I'm not able to see chat. I guess I could just record them and not do a stream, and then I won't have a chat to worry about. But yeah, there's just a few different reasons. I'm gonna have to work out how best to do Arena. And it's also gonna be kind of hard to establish how long it'll take. I guess I could just look at my playtime on Steam once I finish my first playthrough, just to kind of see roughly how long it should take to beat it. I think it's a game that'll take a lot less time to complete than Skyrim. And part of that is the lack of side quests. Like, all you have are side missions, which are like, you know, they just kind of exist. But you don't have any long-winded side quests that send you all around.
Careful, please.
Yeah, they don't have like these side quests that send you like all around everywhere. What you do have are like I'd say the closest thing you have to side quests are palace quests, which sometimes do send you into a dungeon for a random reason. Like, oh hey, I have to kill, or I have to capture some escaped bandit, or I have to rescue the king's daughter, or whatever. Like, it's completely random the reason why you have to go into the dungeon. But they do send you into actual dungeons. Compare that to... But yeah, that's about the most it is. Otherwise, it's really just a lot of it's just a lot of like, yeah, besides those, the only real side quests in Arena are like the ones that send you into, they're the ones where you track down artifacts. So what are artifacts? Those are, oh, we got a death overlord here. Yeah, so what are artifacts? Artifacts are, well, basically, the closest thing you could say in this game, like in Skyrim, are unique items and weapons with enchantments. So like, we're not talking like the random like sword of fire or whatever that you find in some random loot box in a dungeon. We're talking about like Dawnbreaker and the Ebony Blade and the Staff of Magnus, like all those things. I don't know if I don't think Dawnbreaker is an arena. But the Ebony Blade and the Staff of Magnus both are. And yeah, it's just like those are what I'm talking about when I say artifacts. So artifacts are basically just, yeah, they're these unique things with unique enchantments that... Alright, got a dragon priest to kill. Oh shit, my shout is still on cooldown. This is fine. I'm sure we can just deal with you pretty easily. Yeah, so...
Let's move on. The scroll must be in the next room.
Awesome. But first, let's grab Vokun. So he reduces the cost of casting certain things, which is cool, but it's also heavy armor. Which, it always irks me that the Dragon Priest masks in this game, some of them don't really make sense, because it's like, they tell you that, like, your typical magic user, mage or whatever, is not going to be using heavy armor. You absolutely 100% can. It's like, I mean, heck, look at my character right here using heavy armor while also casting a bunch of like alteration spells. So it's totally a thing that you can do. Storm Call, yes. Oh, this is probably my favorite shout. Yes, learn it and favorite it. I love Storm Call. It's a very risky shout to use, especially if you have followers, because it unrelentingly strikes at any living or undead creature in the vicinity with lightning. But God, I just love it. Like, just having the vast power to summon a storm to strike down lightning at your foes. Oh, I love Storm Call. It's such a cool spell. Shout, I mean. But yeah, so, just to wrap up my thought on Arena here, yeah, like, side quest wise, there's two main side quests. There's just like whatever randomized side quest that the local ruler sends you on, like go rescue my daughter, or go and capture this bandit, or go kill this like demon. Like, that's, I think, the 3 different types of side quests you get from local leaders that send you into dungeons. Otherwise, it's just artifact side quests. And you're probably not going to be doing those too much, because once you've acquired your first artifact, you are not allowed to get a new artifact until, like, for as long as you are in possession of an artifact, you are not allowed to get another artifact. There is a workaround for that. There are ways that you can get other artifacts, but generally speaking, yeah, you're only allowed one. So you're not going to be doing that many side quests in Arena. You're mostly just going to be doing like dungeon diving for the main mission. Anyway, here's a shield scroll. Let's give it to Anska.
Sometimes I just like to watch them burn.
Here's the scroll that was sitting on the table that you could have just grabbed at any point while I was doing all that talking.
I cannot thank you enough for all of the help.
Here's the scroll.
And here's a little something for helping me out.
Okay. We got Flaming Familiar. Interesting. I think this is the only place where you can get that. I'm not positive, but yeah, cool. We now have that. Anyway, yeah. My main point being, Arena is fun. It's a little bit intimidating when you're getting into it, but once you kind of learn and get your grips, yeah, so there's like a few different ways that Arena can be intimidating to new players, but once you get past those, yeah, it's really not that bad. And due to the lack of side quests, you're pretty much just gonna be straight shooting the main quest, which not a terrible thing. Anyway, now that we've done that, let's head over to the ruins of Mizulft, because that's like the main thing that the college wants me to do. So let's go ahead and do that. And we have a beautiful evening to go on our journey. Oh look, we've got an Imperial camp. Might as well go ahead and give it a look-see, just so it's marked on our map.
The Legion's always looking for strong, capable warriors.
There we go, East March Imperial camp. So, anyway, yeah, so next topic. Apart from me playing Oblivion in my free time, not Oblivion, Arena. Like I said, I'm gonna keep getting those mixed up because they both start with vowels. But yeah, no, other than playing Arena in my free time, another thing that I've been kind of doing is working on a rough draft for a script for a sort of video essay, I guess you could say, where I'm going to be talking about like theology in the Elder Scrolls, but it's not just going to be like a straight factual video of me just spitting just facts at you, because number one, that would be boring, and number two, I feel there's a lot more to it because I'm making an argument in the video. I don't know how long the video is gonna be in the end, but yeah, I have like a proper thesis, and I'm going to walk you through like all the reasoning behind the thesis and all that sort of stuff. It is something that I've talked about in the past, so I'm not like... So, like, if you have paid attention to my previous Skyrim streams, you'll most likely have heard me rambling of like basically what my thesis is gonna amount to being. But this is putting it in a structured location where anyone who wants to can just click on the video and hear my thesis, as well as like, because I'm writing a script for it, it's gonna be a lot less rambly. Because if you haven't noticed already during this stream, I tend to ramble a lot. It's just a trait of mine. I'm a very rambly person, especially when I'm like streaming or whatever. I'm just chatty. I tend to talk a lot. So the point being, with how rambly I am, having a script is gonna kind of keep me from going off the rails and keep me on track with the topic at hand. So you don't have to worry about me rambling too much when I do that video. However, that does not mean it's going to be in any means a short video. I have yet to figure out exactly how long the video is going to be. Because I'm still in the middle of writing the script. But just in the process of writing the script, I've found two things. Number one, I needed to slightly alter my thesis because what I was finding, my findings were not supporting my thesis as objectively as I was hoping they would, so I have slightly altered the thesis of the video. And reason number two being, in the process of writing that script, I realized in order to further support my thesis, I'm going to have to talk about more than one pantheon. My original plan was to just talk about the Imperial Pantheon and then talk, briefly mention that other pantheons exist out there in the world. One that we have in Skyrim here, the pantheon of the Skald. They believe in the Allmaker. And
Crystal, go on.
Alright, hello, let's talk to you.
Find Paratus in Oculary.
Alright, so yeah, this is what we have to do. Remember what we are here for, because it's been a long time since we've done any College of Winterhold missions. We're here in Mazulft to find the location to the Staff of Magnus. Which, to me, is very, what's the word? Deja vu. Because that's the exact thing that I had to do in order to get the Staff of Magnus in Arena. Is I had to go to a different location to learn of its location. So yeah. But yeah, no, we're gonna collect the Staff of Magnus, but first we have to find its location, and that's why we are here in Mazulft, because we heard that the Mages Guild, the Imperial Mages Guild that is not affiliated with the College of Winterhold in any way, has led an expedition into Mazulft because they've found like some big power source or whatever. So we're here to see if they might possibly be able to uncover the location of the Staff of Magnus. So let's read this research log. Attendant Gavros. The Council has become aware of the lack of progress in your group's efforts. They are particularly displeased to learn that your specifications for the focusing crystal were completely incorrect. The entire Binders Conclave has worked tirelessly, and the Council is quite sure that this new crystal will suit your needs. You are herewith entrusted with delivering the crystal to the site, completing your work, and delivering a full report to the Council with all possible haste. The Council trusts you will deliver the crystal to the Oculary personally, and that there will be no further complications. First Adjunct Honor Roll. So yeah, the Mages Guild is here for different reasons than the college is, and we will find out why exactly in a bit. But yeah. But yeah, no, what I realized as I was making my video script was that I'm going to need not only to talk about the Imperial Pantheon, I'm going to need to talk about the Altmary Pantheon. There's like the Altmer are so like the reason I was going to talk about just like the Imperial Pantheon is kind of because of my main thesis, and I don't really want to spoil that thesis. I'm gonna let you all wait until the video is actually out, and then you can see for yourselves what my thesis is and how I defend it. But yeah, just in general, I've found that in order to defend the thesis, properly, I'm going to need to explore not just the Imperial Pantheon, but the Altmary Pantheon as well. I do not know yet what that Pantheon actually is. I think the Altmer Pantheon is probably just the same as the Aldmer Pantheon. but I will not know until I've done further research, and I won't do further research on that until I've finished up with the Imperial Pantheon. But there's... Yeah, I'm gonna have to talk about the Imperial Pantheon, and then I'm gonna have to talk about the Altmer Pantheon, and then I'm going to have to talk about the like the Daedra, because the Daedra all fit in their own category by themselves. And then yeah, the Daedra fit into like their own category all by themselves, and I don't know how long I'm gonna need to talk about that, because I have a feeling that people, like the general, hello Ian, the general public are probably gonna be a lot more familiar with like they're gonna be a lot more familiar with the Daedra than they are gonna be with the Aedra. Like, if you played Skyrim and no other Elder Scrolls game, you're probably gonna know about Akatosh, because he's kind of important to the whole story. Yeah, he's kind of important to the whole story with Alduin, and just the Dragon War in general. But yeah, other than that, you might learn a bit about Kinrith when you do like the whole quest to like restore the Elder Green or Elder Gleam or whatever that one's called. Gilder Green? I can't remember. Yeah, so you will, over the course of the game, like, become a little bit more aware of, like, a few of the divines, but like, you really don't know anything about Zenithar. The only thing you know about Stendarr is the vigilance of Stendarr. You don't learn a whole lot about Mara or Dibella. Like, you learn probably about as much as you do like doing the Gilder Green quest line, but other than that, like, yeah, you're probably not gonna be super familiar with most of those Aedra. Yeah, you're definitely not gonna know anything about like Julianos or yeah, you're not gonna know anything about Julianos or Zenithar, and probably not enough about Stendarr. So that's kind of why I think it's important to lead with the Imperial Pantheon. Just walk through who all is in the Imperial Pantheon, what purpose do they serve, and where do they fit into other pantheons? So that's one thing that I have to do. Another thing that I have to do is look at, I have to look at, yeah, I kind of have to do a comparative with the Altmer Pantheon. And then, after I've done all of that, I'm going to have to do a, like, rundown of the Daedra. Because the Daedra are also part of, like, yeah, the Daedra are all worshipped by at least some group or another. Even if Daedra worship is overall outlawed, it's still like, I mean, just look at the Dunmer. Their pantheon is that they worship 3 Daedra. Trying to remember what those 3 are. There is Azura. I want to say Mephala and Boethia. Yeah, but yeah, that's the tribunal. That's the 3 Daedra that the Dunmer worship. So yeah, that's kind of like the whole thing with these guys, is that yeah, like point being, if you're gonna do a video about like theology, you can't brush over the Daedra. I think just like the Divines though, there are a number of Daedra that you're not gonna know as much about. Oh, hello. I'm taking that just because it's worth a lot. Yeah, so the Daedra, just like the Divines in the Imperial Pantheon, I feel there are some that people are gonna know better than others. So, Sheogorath, people are going to know very intimately, especially if they've played Oblivion. But even if all they've played is Skyrim and ESO, like, Sheogorath is a character that he's probably the most well-known of all the Daedric princes. Even more than Mehrunes Dagon, despite being like the primary antagonist to yeah, despite being like the main antagonist in Oblivion, I feel people are a lot more familiar with Sheogorath, and he's a lot of people's favorite Daedra. For a good reason. Like, he's got a great voice actor, and just his general demeanor is very, like, makes him one of the most interesting characters in all of the Elder Scrolls, because not many characters in the Elder Scrolls universe will straight up threaten to play jump rope with your entrails. And he does. So, yeah, there's a very good reason why Sheogorath is like one of the most well-known and most beloved of the Daedric princes. On the other hand, I feel people are a lot less familiar with, like, Peryite and, I am going to include Jiglag in my discussion on the Daedric princes who... Yeah, they... Also, by the way, I believe, fun fact, the reason that the dwarves are called the dwarves, despite the fact that they are just as tall as humans, is the fact that they, it's the fact that, they were dwarf in size compared to the giants. That is why I believe that the Dwemer are called the dwarves. But yeah, what was I talking about? Right, the Daedra. Yeah, I feel people are less familiar with, like, Jiggalag and, Peryite, and probably not that familiar with, like, Mephala or, like, maybe they're familiar with Meridia. It's really hard to tell what exactly counts as common knowledge, which is something that I've kind of learned in academia when I was doing my undergrad, was when you're doing something that involves research, you can't make any assumptions. You're not allowed to assume that people just know, like, heck, you can't even really assume that people know what a Daedra is. So you will have to clarify, like, what is a Daedra, what is an Aedra, and all that kind of stuff. That said, like, there's a certain degree to which I can have a little bit of leeway. Because at the very least I have a general assumption that anyone watching the video will know what is the Elder Scrolls. So yeah, I can't make any assumptions, but at the same time I might have to make certain assumptions, and it's really just all a question of, like, knowing what exactly needs clarification and what doesn't. So yeah. But yeah, that said, just in general, like, there's a lot of unknowns. And I'm gonna have to do my best to cover as much of it as I can. Point being, this is kind of a massive project that I'll be undertaking, and just the script writing itself is daunting. So yeah, if that gives you just a little bit of an idea of how exactly how big this project is, I'm having to go through the process of writing a script, and it's stressful. Anyway, we have a level up. I can't remember if we've done any training this level up, but even if we have, or even if we haven't, I'm still just gonna go ahead and use it, I think. And we'll just go into health. Why not? And as for what we're gonna spend our perk on, well, let's see. Block, I think, could definitely use a few more perks. Yeah, we could get shield wall or deflect arrows. Yeah, let's get deflect arrows. Then next perk we could get elemental protection. So yeah, we'll do that. Anyway, yeah, it's a big project. I don't usually undertake big projects in content creation, but it's something that I've wanted to do for quite some time. So, and this is, I feel, because of the fact that I'm putting so much effort into, like, creating a proper thesis and doing, like, more detailed research on a lot of this stuff, shows just kind of how important I believe this topic to be. But even all that together, it's like, yeah, there's just some things yeah, point being, yeah, it's an important topic, and I'm gonna put a lot of thought and effort into working on it. That said, there's a few other things that I kind of have in the thoughts and works. Because for those who don't know, this time of year, right around springtime, is like multiple milestone celebrations for me. So like on the first of, well, first off, the first day of spring is like the time I made my internet debut. So like that was when I made my first tweet and announced myself as like, hey, I am a VTuber that exists. So yeah, the first day of spring every year is that milestone for me. Then on top of that, I also have wow, you have nothing in? Jesus. Okay. Yeah, so the first day of spring is basically that for me. It's a celebration of when I first announced to the world that, hey, I'm a VTuber and I exist. And that was a little over 2 years ago, because the first day of spring was like a week ago or something. Then the first day of April will mark 2 years of streaming for me, because I started streaming back in April 1st of 2021 was my first ever stream. And so, and that stream, by the way, was Slay the Spire. So I might do something a little special that day. I don't know what yet, though. It might be nice to just do Slay the Spire. I mean, that's a possibility. I'm not sure yet. Maybe I won't do anything. We'll see. But then there's the other milestone. April 15th is the anniversary of my debut. So that one I may or may not do something special for. I know last year I did. I think it was a subathon. Was it the subathon? Yeah, I think it was the subathon that I did around the 1 year anniversary of my debut. And then yeah, I have no idea if I'm gonna do anything special this year. But what I do know is that I don't know what I know. I know my mind is moving at 100 miles a second right now, and my mouth can only move half as fast. I'm just in a very talkative mood, I guess. But yeah, no, I think the one thing that I have the most clearest idea for is that I would like to play on my birthday, which is May 3rd, by the way. Twitter, like, lore-wise, technically my birthday is, like, the May 4th, but I'm gonna be honest with you, that's not the case. That's a lie. That was back when I saw VTubers as just Hololive, and you could say your birthday was just whenever. Partly because it's like further concealing your identity if you say, like, if you tell someone your actual birthday versus if you tell someone like a day that could be considered your birthday. It's like, yeah, it's more or less concealing your identity if you do that. But then it's like, when you really think about it, so many people have the same birthday, so it's like, are you really concealing your identity? Like, to people close to you, sure. Like, because then it's like, well, this person sounds like this person, and that person is the same birthday. But, if someone is that familiar with you, they're just gonna know it's you. Like, that's not, there's not much concealing to be done there. that said, anyway, main point, Twitter and lore-wise, my birthday is May 4th, but that is not the case. My actual birthday is May 3rd. And I will do some kind of stream around there. I know last year I did a 24-hour stream where I played the entirety of Jedi Fallen Order in a single sitting, and that was fun, but it also kind of completely destroyed me. And I don't want to go through that again. That said, the sequel to that game will be coming out kind of around that time. I said yesterday on stream that the release date is like April 28th, I think, which is basically just like a week. Hello, Mortimer. Hello. I am doing good. How are you? Yeah, so... yeah, I will not be doing another 24-hour stream like I did last year, because that destroyed me. I am old at this point. I am old and decrepit at the ripe old age of 26. I can't pull all-nighters anymore. They just devastate me. I would much rather have a hangover than pull an all-nighter, and that's possibly what's gonna happen. Because I think what I will do is, like, I'll drink some mead in celebration, because I haven't had mead in a long time. Like, it's been a hot minute since I've had mead. Despite being my favorite alcoholic beverage, so I'll be getting me some mead to celebrate my birthday, and then probably stream the latest, or like the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order. That's probably the plan. We'll see how much I follow through on said plan. And we'll also see if I end up actually doing like a subathon or donathon or anything. I have like a vague idea in the works for doing one. It's just the hardest part of doing any kind of subathon or donathon or whatever. The hardest part of doing any of those is coming up with what to do for certain milestones. Because, like, I could very easily say, okay, I want to do a subathon and have my milestone be 100 subs. You know, that's my end goal, and I'll just do like a milestone every 10 subs or whatever. You know, that's pretty easy to figure out. The hard part is figuring out what are the rewards for the milestones, what are the incentives and all that, and it's like most streamers do follow a kind of general, like, oh, it's probably a good idea to do like food crime based milestones or something like the thing is, I'm not most streamers. I am my own person, and a lot of the stuff that most people probably would do for that kind of thing just really isn't my style. Like, I don't really do just have someone write a tweet for me, or like, yeah, there's just a lot of stuff that I don't really vibe with. So when I do eventually do any sort of like subathon, it's gonna be hard to like think of exactly what to do. I have a few vague ideas. So like, one idea that I have is that I could, like, there's still a lot of stuff that I want to do as far as streaming stuff goes, like various streaming assets. So what I could set for my milestones are like, if I reach a certain milestone, I will like properly add in stream alerts. Because if you haven't noticed, right now I'm still using like the same exact stream alerts that I used like however many years ago that were just generic ones. But I do have animations, actual like GIFs that people made for me, either through like winning raffles or like just straight up commissioning them. And I do have their permission to use said GIFs for like stream stuff. So yeah, it's really just a matter of me doing all that setup. So maybe at some point I'll do that. Emphasis on the maybe, because I really can't say for sure.
There are scholars in Syria who have dedicated their lives to solving the mystery of the Dwemer's disappearance.
But yeah, who can really say? Anyway. I think the end goal, however, would be for me to like, because one thing that I do want to do, this is something that I've had in mind for a while. Hello, I knew you were back here. Yeah, just a little secret optional boss. If you feel like coming back here and fighting a Centurion Master, you can. It is leveled to you, so it won't always be a Centurion Master, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, no, that'll definitely be the end goal of whatever subathon slash donathon slash whatever I decided to do. Is basically, yeah, just be like, hey, if we reach the end goal, I will go ahead and do like I'll go ahead and commission a like a PNG of my second outfit, because I have the concept of my second outfit. I have it all worked out. I have, like, you know, I've already commissioned someone to make art of me wearing my second outfit, and I, like, that art exists. But it's not exactly a good PNG, and I want a PNG so that I can use a reactive PNG. Now, the dream, of course, is that someday I will be able to afford to, like, cough up 2K again to, like, commission this as a proper model. However, I have other needs for $2,000, and I don't even think I've earned back the amount that I spent on the first commission for my current model that I don't even use all that much these days because my PC can't really handle me streaming like the same game twice, or no, can't really handle me streaming like with OBS and VTube Studio open at the same time, as well as whatever game I'm playing. So, like, point being, I've commissioned this model that I don't really use all that much, and I don't really feel like commissioning a second one without first, like, I kind of want to write it out as like a PNG for a time. That's kind of like the main point that I'm getting to here. Anyway, let's continue.
Gavros, is that you? I'd almost given up hope. Let me get the door.
The entire Roman race will one day return, just as
What the? What are you doing here? What have you done with Gavros?
Your friend Gavros is dead.
It was the Falmer, wasn't it? Curse them! They've ruined everything. If Gavros is gone, there is no hope. He was supposed to return with the crystal. Without that, all our efforts are wasted. And you, if you're here for treasure or wisdom or anything, I'm afraid you've wasted your time.
I love how he just assumes that the Falmer killed him. Like, it's true that they did, but, like, why does he have any reason to not think that I just killed him? Anyway, what's this about a crystal?
It didn't work the first time. I tried to tell Gavros, but he wouldn't listen. No, it won't be too cold, he said. Well, I was right, wasn't I? Focused completely wrong by the time we got here. The cold had warped it. Gavros had to cart it all the way back to Cyrodiil. Left the rest of us here to fend off the damnable Falmer.
What's the crystal for?
It was a brilliant idea, really. Mostly mine, though Gavros took the credit. Secret, though. Official Synod business. Can't talk about it.
What are you doing here?
I am on official business of the Grand Council of the Synod. That's all you need to know. I might well ask the same of you, running around by yourself in this dangerous place.
I'm looking for the Staff of Magnus.
Are you? Well, I'm afraid I can't help you with that. I need the crystal to do anything useful, and I don't have it.
I happen to have found a focusing crystal. Is this what you're looking for?
You found... How in the world? That's it? That's it! I don't know who you are, but you may have just saved this little project. In fact, who are you anyway?
I'm with the College Winterhold.
You are you? Savos wouldn't even grant us an audience when we came to you, but now you come here expecting something from me? I don't much like this, I'll tell you. But you saved my skin, so maybe I could overlook the past for now. Come on, I'll explain on the way. No matter what Gavros said, this was my idea first. The Council is going to know that when I get back. I was the one who thought of using this oculory. I don't know what the dwarves called it. Something unpronounceable, I'm sure. From all our research, it seems they were intent on discerning the nature of the divine. This machinery, all of it, was designed to collect starlight, and then, I'm not sure, split it somehow? It was my idea to replace one of the key elements with our focusing crystal. Months of enchantments went into it. Let's just hope they got it right this time.
So yeah, more information about the Dwemer and how they were very atheistic. Like, they were aware of the existence of the Aedra, but they...
Magnificent, isn't it? Took an incredible amount of work to get it running. Now I'm hoping it'll all be worth it. Place the crystal in the central apparatus, and we can start the process for focusing it.
Yeah, so like... the Dwemer were aware of the existence of Aedra. But like... they saw them more as like beings with limited potential. Not as gods to be worshipped, but as beings that can achieve a certain immortality that the Dwemer themselves coveted. Anyway, let's do this little puzzle here. Now here, this puzzle is a very interesting one. It's one of the puzzles in Skyrim that is most... that's probably the easiest. No, not easiest. It's probably one of the more complex puzzles in Skyrim. And it's a very interesting one that actually addresses something that very rarely is mentioned in this game or any game at all ever. It's the fact that heat and cold, like, here's a little science lesson for you. Heat and cold will expand and contract particles. Like, the actual science behind it is like, or at least this is like what I remember from my science textbooks, is like cold, the colder the temperature, the slower particles move, and the higher the temperature, the faster particles move. And every solid object has a melting point, as well as a freezing point. So like matter itself can be warped, and heating something up will change its shape and its change its properties. Now for some things this is just a lot more for some things this isn't, it's very inconsequential. Like a cast iron pan that you use to like just cook food, like it does follow the same properties. Like it is, the particles within the cast iron pan are moving faster once you've set it on the stove to like 200 or 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Like that is something that the cast iron pan experiences. However, it's designed to withstand it. So like it doesn't melt once it hits that point. It just gets really hot and you can use that heat to cook food. Here is a crystal which was designed to refract light in a particular direction. However, because the crystal was crafted in Cyrodiil and was brought into Skyrim, the cold temperatures in Skyrim warped the shape of the crystal. Now, I will say, why did they not just craft this crystal in Bruma? Like, if they knew the cold was warping it, why not just make it in a cold place in the first place? But whatever. Yeah, so basically, yeah, the cold has kind of warped this crystal, so it doesn't refract light the way it's supposed to. So you can use little bits of science to use fire or frost to expand or contract the crystal as you will. And the game gives you those spell tomes right there so that you can use it at your will. But here's all we have to do. First, heat it a little bit. Come on. Hello? Maybe I have to cool it down. No, I do have to cool it down.
Sometimes called water.
Huh. I could have sworn I had to heat it. Because, like, the entire point is that, like, the crystal got warped when it entered the cold of Skyrim. And so, like, you need to heat it back up. But I guess I was wrong. Anyway, basically keep doing that until all 3 of these beams of light all point right towards the center of one of these 3 rings. There we go. So yeah, you don't even have to use fire at all during this entire you don't have to use fire at all during this entire thing. You can just use ice. And now we use these buttons to move the rings. Alright, so that one is already refracted, so that's locked. So yeah, just keep pressing these buttons. This is gonna take a little bit, but they'll get there eventually. They're getting pretty close. Yep, there we go. Now just one more should do it. And there we go.
Finally going to pay off. What's this? These results. They're not at all what they should be. This projection should be lit up like the night sky. Something is creating an incredible amount of interference. Something in Winterhold looks like. What are you playing? Is this some attempt to stall my work? So what is it? What have you done? Did you know what we were attempting? Are you here to make sure your plan worked? That our efforts have been for nothing? Well, explain yourself.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You show up here just as our work nears completion, and now I can't get any results from this because of something at your college. Do you think me a fool? Do you think I'm too stupid to make the connection? You've ruined my work. How did you do it?
I haven't done anything, I swear.
But it must be something you're doing. There's no other explanation. You have something at your college, don't you? Something immensely powerful, beyond anything I've anticipated. What is it?
You mean the Eye of Magnus?
The Eye of Magnus? Well, I suppose if that means what I think it does. Well, that's interesting.
Can you help me find that staff or not?
Yes, the staff. Interesting. I can't explain the details. That would be giving away many secrets the Synod have learned over the years. Also, I doubt you'd be able to comprehend the details. Have you seen the orrery in the Imperial City? It was the inspiration for this idea. Instead of projecting the sky, we project all of Tamriel, and then harness the latent energies to overlay the positions of... What's important is that all of this work was designed to reveal to us sources of great magical power. Purely to help safeguard the Empire, of course. And yet, in the end, only 2 locations have been revealed to us. One is your college. The other, well, that can only be Labyrinthian. So, mage from Winterhold, despite your intentions, I've beaten your little game. Even if all you've said here is lies, I know you have something in Winterhold the Synod Council will be very interested in. So fine, trudge off to Labyrinthian in search of your staff. I shall return to Cyrodiil and deliver my full report to the Council. This is not over, I assure you.
So the Staff of Magnus is in Labyrinthian?
Well, yes. Probably. I mean, yes. Certainly it is. But that doesn't matter now, because I know you're hoarding something even more important at your college. The Council will be informed of this. They will find out what you're up to.
I think you've been in here too long. You're crazy.
Am I? Am I? I think I've discovered more here than I could have hoped to. Your trickery won't confuse me. I think we're done.
So yeah, here's a fun little thing. So essentially what this is, this orrery was harnessing the star power from Aetherius, and the concept was that they were going to focus the star power to create a map, because if you think of it, the stars are overlooking Tamriel, and so the concept is they would use this light to refract what the stars see and project it. So we are seeing what the stars see. And the stars, the idea behind the map was that it's supposed to light up all of Tamriel and locate sources of power. However, currently, apparently, in all of Tamriel, there's only 2 sources of power, or at least 2 sources that are most prevalent. Number 1 is the Eye of Magnus that we have at the College of Winterhold right now, and the other is the Staff of Magnus over in Labyrinthian, which, by the way, is the location that you have to go through in the main quest in Arena. But yeah, this is also just a fun little moment where you can take a look at the various regions of Tamriel. Granted, the map is a little bit incomplete because the south of the map is very, very dispersed, but we have Skyrim, of course. Over here is Morrowind, the island of Vardenfell. Up here is Solstheim. Then we have High Rock and Hammerfell, making up the Iliac Bay region. Then here in the middle of Cyrodiil, with the Imperial City right here, going on down the river. And then we have south of Morrowind is Black Marsh. You know, where the Argonians live. Then right over here is Elsewhere, home to the Khajiit, and over here is Valenwood, home to the Bosmer, and all across over here in the ocean is the Somerset Isles, home to the Altmer. I do have to say, this map is projecting a map of Tamriel, right? As the stars see it. Why the fuck are there borders? Like, sure, the island, yeah, absolutely. Like, that's the reason there should be a border there, is, you know, that makes sense. If there was a river, like, right around here, that looks a little bit watery. Like, okay, sure, fine, that makes sense. That would be why the map is showing a divide between these two regions. But the borders are not set in stone. They're not, like, actual physical things that can be seen. They're just, like, there because we say they are. Like, if all of a sudden High Rock and Hammerfell decided to merge and become one unified country, or province, I guess, would that border just disappear? And would this all just become one thing? Like, what the fuck is going on with this map? Why is it showing us any borders? Anyway, yeah. So we've discovered that the staff is located in Labyrinthian. Which is... yeah, there's a lot of history behind Labyrinthian, and not the least of which is just the fact that it was one of the 8 main locations you had to go to in Arena in order to recover the Staff of Chaos. So, yeah. And here we have...
done well thus far, but trying times are ahead. It is imperative that you return to your college at once. You will be called on to take swift action, rise to the challenge, and discover what you are capable of. You are on the right path, and you will prevail.
And there we have a brief little moment showing that we are proceeding further into the College Winterhold questline. So, we've been called back to the college immediately, so I see no reason why not. Let's just travel to Winterhold. No reason to go all the way to college, at least not just yet. And yeah, from Winterhold we will... because we've got some quests to turn in and stuff, you know. So, let's do it. I could probably go and sell a few things over in the shop right now, but I'm not really in the mood to right now. What I'm probably gonna do is finish up this stage in the College of Winterhold, as well as turn in a few quests. Are you fucking kidding me? There's a fucking frost dragon. Buddy, I'm not in the mood. Yeah, so there's like a few quests and whatnot that I want to turn in here. But then I think that will be a good enough stopping point for us, after which we will go ahead and go elsewhere. Anyway, are you gonna land somewhere where I can actually attack you? Because he's just gonna be annoying and stand at the top of the Hall of Countenance? I think it's the Hall of Countenance. Come down here. There we go.
Where did it come from?
Yeah, so there's a nice little ice dragon killed for us. Alright, gonna take its bones and scales. Not that I really need to, but
We're one of the same.
I feel like it.
That is what you wish.
And let me flog all these off onto you because I don't really want to carry them around.
Let's go.
Alright, so let's turn in these quests. First, let's head to the Hall of Attainment.
Good to see Skyrim still has such fine people.
Alright, Wolf
Always
Deer.
encouraging to see the younger generations embracing education.
Apparently the Jarl has been appeased.
Very good. I hope this will allow us to maintain our reputation.
Okay. Otherwise, yeah, okay, so there's nothing more to tell him. Alright, so I guess now all that's left is we will go to the Hall of the Elements. And oh, would you look at this?
No, it's like a ward, but who's casting it? On Kano? How?
I don't care what it is. I want it down now. I want to know what he's doing in there. I don't know what he's doing, but he won't get away with it.
What's going on?
On Kano, he's in there doing something. We don't know what. We're trying to get in now. I will have his head for this, I assure you. Help take this down, will you? We're throwing everything we can at it.
Alright, so she's throwing frost, he's throwing shock, so I guess I'll throw fire. It doesn't actually matter, but wow, would you look at that, we did it. Also, she has a very big magicka pool for being able to hold frostbite for that long. Or I guess she just has like massive destruction cost, or both, probably both. Anyway, on Kano.
What's going on?
Kano, stop this at once. I command you.
Don't go near him.
Uh-oh.
Are you all right? Can you walk? I need you on your feet. We're in trouble here.
I think I'm okay.
Ankano is doing something with that thing, the eye. We can't stop him. I haven't seen Savo since the explosion. He must have been blown clear, and he may be injured. I need you to find the Archmage, and I need you to do it quickly. Get moving.
What happened?
I'll be fine. I just need a minute to catch my breath. Find Savos.
That was not answering my question, but okay. Yeah, so Ankano's harnessed the Eye of Magnus, yada yada. and we need to stop him.
What's happened? Are you all right? What happened in there?
It's Ancano. He's done something with the eye.
By the Nine, is he responsible for this? The Archmage? Dead? There's more. Something's happened to Winterhold. It must be whatever Ancano did. You need to get out there and make sure it's safe. Quickly now, quickly. I'll find Mirabelle and see if we can't put a stop to this.
Alright, where is he?
Dead.
You're all standing here. Oh, there he is. There's Savos Aran. Looks like his legs got blown off in the explosion too. How sad. Anyway, so something's going on in Winterhold and we have to stop it. And here we're gonna find the most annoying enemy in the game.
What's going on? What happened in there?
Something went wrong. Winterhold may be in danger. Can you help?
It may be in danger? Take a look. I don't think there's much question. Let's get down there. We have to do something. Come on, Armir. Let's go.
They're reforming the Dawn Guard. They never let their fingers help us. In the old form.
Iowa, thank you for the raid. Give me a moment to shout you out. You're playing Majora's Mask. Ooh, very nice. I like that game. I've never played it myself, but I watched a playthrough of it. It was it's a cool game. Anyways. So yeah, hello and thank you for the raid. Alright, so now we have to go ahead and fight one of the most annoying enemies in the entire game. God, over half a day, Jesus. Yeah. I'm doing okay. I'm actually getting close to wrapping up this stream myself. Starting to feel a little bit hungry for lunch. But yeah, no, thank you again for the raid, and I hope you rest well, because yeah, no, 13 and a half hours is no small feat. So anyway, say hello to the magic anomalies. These things are annoyingly tanky, and they are the only enemy in the game that scales infinitely with you. They will never not be a level higher than you, and that level is going to scale like the higher your level is. So yeah, these things kind of annoying. Wait, no, shit, I didn't mean to use Dragon Rend. I meant to use Fire Breath. Come on. Alright, here we go. Yeah, you do want to be careful using shouts during this fight because you might accidentally hit, like, townspeople or guards and get a bounty on your head. Hello, Skylar. Yeah, they're also really annoying to hit. Luckily, I think my damage scales higher than what my level is, so I'm managing to hurt these things a little bit more than usual. But yeah, these will just show up late game and fuck you up. Alright, that's half of them dealt with. Yeah, because they use the same movement patterns as the whatchamacallem, yeah, they use the same movement patterns as the frost wisps? No, not wisps. Ice wraiths, yeah. They use the same movement patterns as ice wraiths, so any melee, or frankly even ranged users, are gonna have a hard time hitting them. They really, really suck. This one seems to be running away. I'm not seeing the people from the college helping out much here. Alright, there we go. Now there's just one wisp left for us to deal with. Or magic anomaly, I guess I should say. There we go.
We'll stay here. Get back to the college and let them know what's going on.
Alright, I don't...
Stay on your guard. We can't let harm come to these people.
I don't feel like searching every single one of these magic anomalies. They might contain soul gems, but I really don't feel like hunting down all their bodies. I'm just gonna continue on and complete the quest. So... we defeated the magic anomalies, and now we're getting close to the very last stage of the College of Winterhold questline. So first...
Protect yourself. We're under some kind of attack.
True. First things first, I do have a quest to turn into you, Urog, so let's do that.
We never should have brought that thing here. We never should have brought that thing here.
I guess I can't. Okay. In that case,
Protect yourself. We're under some kind of attack.
I guess we will go here. Wait, where's Mirabelle? Where the hell is okay, let's set that as active. Okay, there we go. So find Mirabelle. Here she is. Oh right, I forgot she was injured and stuff. Anyway.
Well, is everything out there all right?
Winterhold is safe for now.
Wish I could say the same for us. Tolfdir and I can try and keep this contained. You need to get your hands on the Staff of Magnus, now.
Why me?
I've got to stay here to see if we can get to Onkono and stop this. I need someone I can trust to do it. Besides, you're the one having all of these visions, aren't you?
You really think the staff will help?
You were told to find it, weren't you? If the stories about the staff are true, if it really can absorb a tremendous amount of power, maybe we can break through Onkono's magic.
Then I'm off to Labyrinthian.
What? Are you sure? The staff is there. That can't be a coincidence.
What are you talking about?
The Archmage. He gave me something just a little while ago. He told me it was from Labyrinthian and that I would know what to do with it when the time came. I think he meant this for you then. I'm not sure why, but there was something very personal about it for him. I think you should take this amulet. It belonged to Savos, but I think it would do you the most good now. Take it and get out of here. Bring back that staff before Ancano brings the whole college down around us.
Alright. So we are off to Labyrinthian. Maybe I can turn this quest in? Probably not. We'll probably have to wait until we've finished up the whole thing, but I'll just talk to it anyway. Let's see.
Do you think Ancano knew all along what the Eye was capable of?
Alright, I guess we just have to finish up the Mages Guild quest before we can turn in that quest to Urog. Alright, well, in that case, off to Labyrinthian we go. I will probably have plenty to say next time when we go to Labyrinthian because it is quite the interesting location. There's a lot to be said about Labyrinthian. Yeah, it's got a lot of history to it. That's not where it is. That's where it is. Anyway, but thank you all for watching. Over here are my links. Over in my card, all the different places you can support me. Go follow me on YouTube, watch my VODs there. At some point I will eventually get back to doing Fire Emblem Engage. And other than that, yeah, subscribe to me if you want emotes. You can also leave a tip through Stream Elements. And whoever we raid, right here is our raid message. So you can copy and paste that or type it in yourself when you get there. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Bye bye.